So if you watched PSG in the Champions League against Aston Villa over the past 2 weeks, you would have noticed that Luis Enrique was using more of a relationist possession strategy, moving away from his more Cruyffian and Pep-inspired routes of positional play, and I think Luis Enrique is leading the way alongside the likes of De Zerbi, Hansi Flick, Diego Simeone, Inzaghi, Xabi Alonso and Nagelsmann as one of the coaches who is at the forefront of the next tactical evolution in football. As of yet, I don't think Ruben Amorim has quite kept up to speed with this tactical evolution, with the likes of Pep and Arteta also drifting behind the leading pack. And so in this video I'm going to be tactically breaking down how head coaches like Amorim, Pep and others can take inspiration from relationism just as Luis Enrique and others have done, in order to allow their systems to evolve tactically going into next season. And for Manchester United specifically, it's going to involve the wing backs, Amad and ideally one of Dwight McNeil or Theo Hernandez. But I also think that players like Savinho and Doku could also perform this role at City, and there are other players as well. Essentially in possession, Amad and McNeil I'll go with for now just because that's a player who I suggested United sign in my Who Manchester United Should Sign video, which I'll leave linked in the eye above and description below, will be utilised like wingers rather than wing backs or full backs in possession. But crucially, they'd be given the freedom to roam across the pitch to the opposite side during settled possession. But what exactly is the benefit of this? Well, before I get into that, a quick reminder, if you want to check out any cheap, good quality football jerseys, go over to jerseyfifa.co. They've got a variety of different current season and retro jerseys, including this 2010 Inter Milan Champions League final home shirt with Wesley Sneijder number 10 on the back, from the season where Jose Mourinho won his second treble of his career at Inter Milan, with Inter beating Bayern Munich at the Bernabeu in the final. They've also got this 2012-2013 Robin van Persie Manchester United home shirt from his first year at Manchester United after joining from Arsenal, and Ferguson's last where United would go on to win the Premier League. If you use code Atlantis at checkout you'll get a 10% discount, so I'll leave it linked in the description and in the comments section below. So back to the tactical analysis, what is the point of allowing these wingers to roam to the other side during settled possession? Well, opposition sides now find it easy to defend against positional play systems, due to being able to predict exactly where players are going to be positioned in possession when the side they are up against has possession in the middle third, and they're simply able to just adjust their defensive shape during that phase of play, allowing them to pretty much go man for man and closing off the space and passing options between the lines. However, by allowing one of the wingbacks to roam across the pitch and pick up a position in the half space or around that area, the fullback on that side, who would have been their original designated pressing player, isn't going to be able to follow their movement to the other side, allowing either McNeil or Amad to pick up a position as the free man, looking to give United an overload on this side of the pitch. And I think this suits both Amad and McNeil, as Amad can move over to the left side looking to receive the ball between the lines, playing more of a playmaking role on the inside of the pitch alongside Bruno Fernandes, looking to connect with short passing interplay down the channel, releasing runners in behind, but also making underlapping runs between the fullback and centre back, or even breaking into goal scoring positions through the centre as well. See, currently if he wasn't injured and he was being used as a right wing back in Amorim's heavily positional play focused possession system, Amad would be instructed to hold width on the far side, and so his game would be far more limited, whereas incorporating a more relationist approach and giving him more freedom will now enable Amad to have greater impact on the game, rather than just being there to hold width in the system. Yes, having a player holding width on the far side in the middle third can be a benefit when looking to circulate the ball across the pitch quickly to the other side and exploit the space on that side of the pitch, but sacrificing that width for an extra player on the side where you have the ball, in my opinion, seems like it could have a greater benefit, particularly with opposition sides now using a very horizontally and vertically compact defensive shape, making overloads even more important than they previously were. Now, Amad moving over to the left side would give United another left-footed out-swinging crossing option on the left side, but with McNeil moving over to the right, United would have another left-footer on the right side who, like Amad, has the ability to deliver dangerous in-swinging crosses to an even higher standard than Amad. And so if United signed an aerially dominant centre-forward like Osimhen, this relationist approach would mean that McNeil, even as a left-back, could still have influence over the game from both sides, being able to utilise his in-swinging crosses from the right, as well as his out-swinging crosses from the left. And of course we have seen McNeil's long-range shooting ability from the right side, opening up his body to curl the ball into the far corner, adding further goal threat to United's attack. And so by incorporating more relationist ideas into his possession system, giving the wingbacks in particular greater freedom and settled possession, Amorim can open up a lot more opportunities for individual players to create chances and progress the ball into dangerous positions, creating overloads and looking to find the free man between the lines. But what other ways could Ruben Amorim use relationism in order to improve his possession system? Well, before I break down another pattern of play, let me first go into detail about what relationism actually is. So relationism isn't just a tactic, it's Brazil's footballing soul. Born from favela improvisation and beach football creativity, the relationist philosophy treats a pitch like a dance floor, where every pass starts a new rhythm. And this traditional Brazilian style has also made its way over to Europe, with Sweden's Malmo being an unlikely ambassador. And if you want me to do an in-depth tactical analysis on Henrik Rydström's Malmo tactics, make sure you subscribe to the channel and let me know in the comment section below. But back in Brazil in the modern day, it was actually Fernando Diniz' Fluminense who became relationism's standard bearers, playing a style of football which many critics called organised chaos. But what was his secret? Well, there was no fixed positions, only fluid connections. Every player was essentially a playmaker, and Fluminense would attack through constant motion and movement, not through any preset or defined patterns of play. And even from goal kick situations, Fluminense under Diniz would utilise a sort of player movements that you would only really see in a futsal or a 7-a-side game. And that is the key, breaking the game down into smaller micro games in different parts of the pitch. 4v3, 6v5, looking to establish numerical advantages using unpredictable player movements in order to unsettle the opposition's man-to-man or zonal organised defensive shape, finding gaps and creating free men. But this doesn't just have to be with the wingbacks. Ahmad, McNeil, Dorgu or even Dalot if he stays fit, floating between the lines to receive the ball in behind the opposition's midfield line. They could also do this by dropping in front of the midfield line in order to receive the ball to feet, wherefrom, because the opposition's fullback is highly unlikely to follow their movement that deep and vacate space wide of the back line, which could be exploited with a run from deep, McNeil and Ahmad should be able to get on the ball turn and play a playmaking role, looking to thread incisive passes between the lines or use their vision and technique to find through balls in behind the back line or lofted passes over the top of the back line, something that both Ahmad and McNeil are very good at. Also, when they receive possession, because they are the free man, one of the opposition's midfield line is going to have to leave their man in order to engage and close down their space, creating another free man for United ahead, or if not, opening up space for Ahmad or McNeil to carry the ball into. And giving the wingback greater freedom to move infield could also be used in the build-up phase as well, to allow United to play out of pressure against a high press. See, in the middle third, a lot of sides are going to move to more of a semi-zonal defensive shape, even if they still retain a bit of the man-to-man elements. But when pressing United high, most will go to a stricter man-to-man approach, which means that if United can drop their midfield double pivot to the edge of the box alongside the central centre-back, this can work to drag the opposition's midfield line high, with the interior forwards then spinning and driving into the channel, dragging the fullbacks deep and opening up the space in behind the opposition's midfield line press, wherefrom, because the opposition's wide midfielders have to focus on shifting close to their central midfielder on the inside in order to keep the press vertically compact, rather than just simply focusing on man-to-man pressing the wingbacks. This opens up the opportunity for Ahmad and McNeil to run off the back of their designated pressers when the ball is on the opposite side, looking to pick up a position in the area behind the press, opening up a passing lane and then looking to receive a midfield splitting pass before then having the space to turn and drive the attack forward, creating an artificial counter-attacking situation, with the opposition's midfield and forward line having been taken out of the game after having been enticed into the press. And so in those examples, you can see how by incorporating relationist elements into your possession system can allow you to exploit space in a way that a positional play system can't do to the same level of unpredictability, which also makes it hard for the opposition to adapt, with players pushing up and switching to the opposite flank in order to provide free men and overloads. So let me know what you think of these tactical ideas. You can subscribe to the channel. If you want to check out any cheap, good quality football jerseys, I'll leave Jersey FIFA linked in the comments section and in the description below. And remember to use code Atlantis at checkout for a 10% discount. And if you want to read any of my articles or get access to my in-game Instagram group chat, I'll leave my Patreon linked on the end screen now as well.